In this video, I'm going to show you a great Stasis Hunter build, where you'll be able to freeze everything in sight, apply slow debuffs on every enemy, be more resistant to incoming damage, and be able to throw your grenades faster. You'll be able to use this build for solo legend lost sectors and Nightfalls. The Season of the Wish season artifact mods help this build a lot, and if you're able to get this weapon, I can show you how to become a better player in Destiny 2. This is my main Stasis Hunter build, but if you have a recommendation on how to make this build even better, you are more than welcome to comment it down below. And for more videos like this, subscribing and leaving a like would mean a lot to a starting creator like me. I'm a new D2 player, and hopefully I am able to help you, and if you have any recommendations, ways to make this build better, or what I should cover in the next video, comment it down below. Let's get into the video. To start, for your super, we're using your only super, Silence and Squall, with these following aspects. Touch of Winter. Your Glacier, Duskfield, and Cold Snap grenades have an enhanced functionality. We're mostly focused on the Duskfield grenade, which increases the slow field size and will create a small stasis crystal on impact. Your second aspect will be Grim Harvest. Defeating slowed or frozen combatants creates stasis shards. These shards grant melee energy when picked up by you and your allies. We will be slowing enemies with our Withering Blade Shuriken and freezing them with our Duskfield grenade, which shatters on impact, leaving behind a field that slows targets and freezes them. Equip any jump you want, but I will recommend that you put on Gambler's Dodge to get your melee back and so you can go back to applying the slow debuff to enemies. Now into Fragments. Whisper of Fissures increases the damage and size of the burst of stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. With both our weapon of choice and our grenade, we will be making stasis crystals and destroying them with ease. Whisper of Durance. Blow that you apply to targets lasts longer. For those abilities that linger, their duration will also increase, so your Duskfield and Shurikens will benefit from this, making them slowed for longer and potentially freezing them. Whisper of Chains. While you are near frozen targets or a friendly stasis crystal, you take reduced damage from targets. Throw your grenade and stand beside the crystal in the bubble, and you will activate this and activate your exotic armor piece, which I will explain later. Whisper of Shards. Shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. Shattering additional stasis crystals increases the duration of this benefit. With the amount of crystals you'll be making and how often you shatter them, you'll be able to activate this and throw your next grenade in no time. This last fragment is useful, but can be switched out for something else. Whisper of Conduction. Nearby stasis shards track to your position. Given that you'll be making a lot of them, you would want them to be pulled into you, but if you rather have something more useful and don't mind going to collect the shards yourself, then look no further than Whisper of Rime. Collecting a stasis shard grants a small amount of overshield, which falls off after 10 seconds. Collecting additional shards adds to the overshield and refreshes the timer. Collecting additional shards adds to the overshield and refreshes the timer. Small stasis shards restore 5 HP. Large shards restores about 35 HP. If at full health, it is instead added as a stasis overshield that can have up to 50 HP. The exotic armor piece you'll need to obtain to complete this build is Renewal Grasps. Your Duskfield grenades have a much larger effect radius. Allies inside the Duskfield take reduced damage and targets inside the area deal reduced damage. Enemies inside this field deal 50% reduced damage, plus you and your allies receive a 25% damage resistance. The radius instead is increased 25% with just the exotic, but since we have Touch of Winters, it's actually an increased size of 75%. This will give you more space to roam in the field, and staying inside will increase your chances of surviving. Now the exotic weapon that we will start our gameplay loop of freezing targets, applying slow, shattering targets for shards, getting overshield from shards, and throwing a grenade that reduces incoming damage is the Season 20 Defiance exotic bow, Hurrieless Curve. This exotic has the perk Hail Barrage. Final blows with this weapon grant stasis arrows. Your next hipfire shot will fire all of them in a single volley. You can have up to 5 arrows on the bow, and shooting all 5 at once fan out and create stasis crystals on impact. If a stasis arrow hits an enemy, it will freeze them, and defeating them will shatter them and give you a shard. As you can see, freezing and shattering will not be difficult with this exotic weapon. You'll always get a shard that gives you melee energy and overshield. Shurikens to apply slow and grenades to slow and freeze. The mods to run on your armor for your helmet should be Ashes to Assets, which gain bonus super energy on grenade kills, and 2 harmonic siphons to spawn orbs of power with each kill that you get on Verticalis Curve. On the arms, heavy-handed. Your powered melee final blows create orbs of power. So make sure when you throw your shuriken, your enemy should be low on health to obtain orbs of power. Now here's why we need orbs of power. Equipped Grenade Kickstart. When a grenade ability charge is fully consumed at 0, you have active armor charges. It will consume an active armor charge and grant grenade ability energy. This is great so you can wait less time on your grenades. On your chest, equipped Charged Up so you can hold up to 4 armor charges. If you have 4 armor charges, you will throw your grenade. The grenade energy given back will be 34%. 1/3 of your energy will be given back because of the kickstart. If you rather stack slowness to enemies, and you will know that you can't kill anything with this melee, then heavy-handed won't be as useful as another grenade kickstart. Having 2 and taking off heavy-handed means you won't get orbs from powered melees, but for every 4 armor charges, you'll be gaining instead 45% grenade energy back. That's almost half. You just need to figure out how to obtain 4 orbs for 4 armor charges. And this is how I do it. On your legs, equipped Stacks on Stacks. What it does is when you pick up an orb of power, it will grant you 1 additional stack of armor charge. Kickstart mods and font mods make it so 1 orb becomes 1 armor charge, but with Stacks on Stacks, 1 orb is 2 armor charges. So getting 4 armor charges will be twice as fast now, meaning getting half of your grenades will now be twice as fast. Also equipped Better Already, so you start regenerating after an orb pickup and Innervation. This will reduce your grenade energy cooldown every time you collect an orb of power. After the 45% return of grenade energy from the 4 armor charges, every orb after that will reduce the cooldown and you'll be throwing grenades insanely fast. On your hood, equip Reaper. The next weapon kill within 10 seconds of using your dodge spawns an orb of power. Another way to obtain orbs. And then equip Time Dilation to hold on to your armor charges from decaying sooner. For barrier champions in your energy slot, equip the sidearm. In this video, I'm actually using a auto rifle for the overload champions. Normally I use a Drang for the time being, enough to get the patterns to craft it. In this video I already have a shaped Amit AR2 and equipped a stasis power weapon. I'm using Chain of Command from the Exotic Archive. It costs 75,000 glimmer, 2 enhancement shards, and 1 ascendant shard. Don't worry about having to deal with overload champions though. I'll show you in a second with the seasonal mods. The mods this season choose Piercing Sidearms, Unstoppable Bow, and whatever overload mod for your 3rd and 1st column. In this video I have the auto rifle overload. This means you can stop unstoppable champions by aiming down sights on Verticalis Curve and then shooting when you have Unstoppable Shot perk on your left. Having another primary like a sidearm or a auto rifle as your energy slot for barriers or overloads is fine. You can actually apply slow with your shuriken with your duskfield grenades as well to actually stun overload champions. So you can equip a sidearm for barriers, or you can still equip a auto rifle for overloads. Now hopefully someone in your fire team can be running Heart of Flame or some way to give you and everyone else Radiant, so that you can equip Kindling Trigger. Radiant causes solar weapons to apply Scorch to unscorched combatants. So equip a solar sidearm or auto rifle like I do, and you can apply Scorch to unscorched enemies without even being a solar build. Equipped From Whence You Came to gain more ability damage against Taken and Scorn, as you'll be dealing with a lot of this enemy type this season. In your 3rd column, equipped Wished into Being. While your super is nearly fully charged, ability final blows spawn orbs of power. With just a bit left in getting your super, any final blow will help you with the amount of times you will be gaining orbs of power and decreasing the cooldown time. You'll gain your super in no time. Again, if you can have someone get Radiance equipped Torch. While Radiant, deal increased weapon damage to combatants affected by Strand and Stasis debuffs. You'll be applying slow and freeze, so a damage increase to slowed and frozen targets, while radiant is really good. I just realized while making this video that if you equipped Flint Striker, you would be granting yourself radiance if you do rapid solar precision hits or rapid solar final blows. Then you wouldn't need someone else to grant you radiance. Anyways, in the fourth column, equipped Pillar of Ice. Defeating an encased combatant spawns stasis crystals. Lastly, Dragon's Bite. Breaking a combatant's shield with a strand or stasis weapon has a chance to suspend or freeze that combatant. Your chances are increased with every piece of season of wish armor you equipped on. You can farm wish engrams this season and get good rolls and make this worthwhile since this season will be lasting until June. Finally, in the final column, equipped Hail the Storm. Shattering encased targets and stasis crystals deals increased damage. Shattering stasis crystals releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. This is great with every frozen enemy and crystal you make with Verglis. Shattering them will damage other enemies nearby. And then equipped Solo Operative if you're doing solo content. While you are the only member of your fire team, you deal increased damage to all combatants. If you're worried or having difficulty stunning Overload champions with this build, replace Solo Operative with Overload rockets, and replace Chain of Command with any rocket launcher you want. There's a rocket launcher this season that drops called Crux Termination 4. It has insanely good rolls on them. If you probably picked one up and dismantled it, it probably had a god roll because this thing is a beast. For the first perk, it has Reconstruction and Clown Cartridge, and for the second perk, it has Explosive Light or Bipod. This rocket launcher is great for DPS phases. Anyways, if you were paying attention to the gameplay footage in the background, I actually got the 2 exotic pieces left from my collection for helmets, and I was really stunned by this because the exotic drop rate is like really low, and I got them back to back. Like, these were the only 2 takes I did for this build, and I got both of them back to back. But this is it for this video. I hope this video was helpful in getting you a very insane Hunter Stasis build. It would mean a lot if you could subscribe, leave a like, and comment on how I can improve this build and which subclass I should do next. And I will see you in the next video.